Hello, welcome to Appetite for Production. We know what you did last summer. You sat in your studio, in your pants, eating Wotsits and tweaking compressor setting.
How do you know about the Wotsits, James? That's what I want to know.
It was the ginger beard that gave it away.
Oh man, my dusty fingers.
Well, in the past couple of weeks, we have had NAMM, Tim.
NAMM?
Which is, the annual and actually biannual event where all the music technology community come together and release products.
It stands for North American Music Merchant Mickle Muckle or something? I don't actually know what it stands for.
I'm not sure. I've never checked it out. I always assumed it was some kind of war reference.
Yeah, right. More on that later. So what's been happening at NAMM then, buddy? What's it all about?
So lots of things have happened, mostly in the world of hardware where Korg have just been jizzing them out like no one's business, but also lots of software, which we're going to talk about today and probably in future episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get right into it. Okay, Tim, if you can just insert the boron rods now.
Oh, they're boring right into it. Mate, into the reactor.
The reactor is online. It is steadily gaining power.
I'm sure nothing could go wrong with this reactor, right? No, I mean, it seems pretty stable and everything.
I checked the cooling rods myself.
How's the core looking? Is it still there?
I mean, hold on. I'm not really bothered about the core. I've just got a notification on my phone here, which I've just got to look up.
Yeah, I've got to check out some Snapchats. Let's ignore it for a bit.
Oh my god, Tim.
What?
Shit. Press the big red button.
Okay, I'm pressing it now.
New door alert, Tim. New door alert.
What?
Oh my god.
Shit.
Get
the fire extinguisher.
Turn the reason down.
Oh god, extinguish the core, James. It's overloading. What are we going to do?
Attention, everybody. There is a new door, sort of. A new door. Tim, a new door is being released.
What's going on, James? I don't understand. A new door? What?
Okay, this has come from none other than Universal Audio.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
You know Universal Audio?
Yeah, I do. They do all the Universal Audio plugins.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Now, specifically, they release a lot of analog modeled stuff, and you have to have their hardware to use it because their hardware interfaces and boxes have DSP chips, which do all the computing, processing, CPU type stuff.
Yeah, but it's more about being copy protection these days, isn't it, really? Let's face it.
Guess so. But yeah, so they sell hardware on which you can run their plugins, which are very complicated and processor intensive analog emulating plugins. And we were always saying a bunch of stuff like, we don't need the box, we could just do it natively, blah, blah, blah. And also, when are you guys going to release some instruments?
Yeah, right. I mean, the thing about the UA plugins is they do sound really good. I mean, I am jealous of people who have the UA stuff and use it.
And basically the money to buy it.
And the money, yeah. This is the thing, guys. Timmy's got no money, so he can't afford that stuff, unfortunately.
So what they've just come up with is a new door, hence the alert.
So have we explained this concept enough?
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
It is called Luna, Luna.
Ooh.
It's, a bit like the moon, but not quite like the moon.
Is this going to sync to my menstruations?
It'll probably at least sync to your MIDI clock.
Okay, all right. My big MIDI clock, lovely.
So, as you can imagine, because they have audio interfaces running their effects,
you need to have an audio interface from them to use Luna.
You do. Now, specifically, you need to have a Thunderbolt-equipped audio interface to use it. So, any of you suckers who bought any Universal Audio interface, which is USB, you made the wrong decision, buddies. Oh, man,
that seems a bit harsh to punish the USB lovers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. And also, it is a free download, this little door.
Oh.
So, okay, this is actually, we could meet this with skepticism, but it's...
Yeah, let's meet it with skepticism. That's the whole MO, right?
It's pretty interesting, actually.
Oh, is it?
So, I'm just going to read this directly, because with this release, they've really done a sort of like matter of fact, like, yeah, we've done this, and we've done this. They haven't like bigged it up. They haven't gone, this is amazing. It's gonna change the way you make the
like
music.
an IK multimedia style
vibe. So I feel good reading this straight off the release. Key Lunar recording system features include its deep Apollo interface integration, built-in Neve summing, multi-track tape emulation, and all new lunar instruments.
Ooh, spacey.
So yeah, Neve summing is fair enough. I don't personally care. Multi-track tape emulation is something I sort of always assumed that they'd end up doing because they've got tape emulating effects, but it would be natural for them to run it through their interface, to your monitors and maybe loop back so you could DAW export through it. Instruments is the other interesting one.
What?
You get a little synthesizer, which I'd never heard of. It's called the Mini-Mog, is it?
I think it's pronounced Mini-Maug.
The Magaug, Mini-Magaug.
yeah, that's right. That's
right. In partnership with the company themselves, Magaug.
Yeah.
They've made a Mini-Moog, which is, guess what? An accurate emulation of that synth.
No one has ever done that before, James.
No, in fact, I've got Mini-Moog shit to talk about later on as well.
Oh, really?
So I've been balls deep in Mini-Moog myself recently.
Gross. Save me.
There is the Ravel Grand Piano, which is Steinway Model B Grand Piano.
Sick.
Based on UA's proprietary sampling, physical modeling, and new ultra resonance technology. Because if you're modeling analog stuff, if you don't brand your technology every 3 years or so. And the other...
Hang on, slow down, Einstein. Whoa. Let's stop. Let's stop the fun bus in the hard shoulder. What, ultra resonance, did you say?
Yeah, I don't know. That's ultra resonance technology, providing all the sonic nuance.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm interested to see what they do with the combination of sampling and physical modelling. I mean, what I want is a physically modelled thing that actually sounds like a real instrument, but, whatever.
You'd think you wouldn't need physical modelling, because surely sampling is just, like, you could get a real piano and you could record it, or you could get a sampled piano which has been recorded as samples. What's the difference? But apparently all these piano emulator people, or the people who do sample pianos, add a bunch of synthesis into it as well, which has always boggled me.
Yeah, crazy. I will let you carry on now.
The other instrument is called Shape, which has very interesting one. It's got vintage keys, drums and percussion, guitar and bass, orchestral content, real-time synthesis, courtesy of Universal Audio, Spitfire Audio, Orange Tree Samples, and Loop de la Creme.
Ooh, Loop de la Creme. That's my favourite quality street. It's delicious.
Those last two aren't necessarily the biggest name in sampling or anything, but if Universal Audio are happy to put their stuff out, then...
they must be good.
They must be good.
Halo effect.
We've talked about Loop de la Creme before, but you won't have remembered that.
No, my brain's been destroyed, mate.
So let's talk about this multi-track tape, Tim.
Yes. Now, the thing is, when you say this to me, at first it sounds like a good idea, and then I think... oh, well, what happens when you want to export a bit of audio and do something? Do you have to turn the tape emulation off? Oh, it seems like a potential practical nightmare.
So it's because it's built into the DAW. It says Luna's output transport features integrated multi-track tape emulation via the included Oxide Luna extension. Now, I'm assuming these Luna extensions, which, by the way, they should have called Luna modules.
Oh my God! They left it on the table, mate. Unbelievable.
I assume these extensions are just, give us more money.
Yes.
Enhance your DAW.
Yeah, fair enough.
Enhance your DAW size.
Yeah, nice.
We all get the emails.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur, mate. You know what I'm saying?
And they apparently provide sonic qualities commonly described by audio engineers as warmth and cohesion, blah, blah, blah.
Can we take a pause for a second there?
Yeah.
What the fuck does warmth mean, mate?
Saturation, usually.
That's fucking bullshit. Carry on.
Harmonic relations.
Fucking bullshit.
So it seems that you can activate this Oxide tape extension on any audio or instrument track you like. So yes, when you want to export something and you don't want it to be baked in tape, you can just switch that off. Or maybe there's an option on export to take all the tape off. Who knows?
Oh, well, we'll find out eventually, except neither of us have a UA audio interface.
That is true.
So maybe we won't ever find out.
You can also use their Studio A800 as an extension, which is another tape emulator. This built-in Neve summing, let's get round to that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read it. Luna Recording System offers precisely emulated audio summing circuitry from the Neve 8T series audio mixing consoles designed by Neve Electronics in the 60s and early 70s. So yeah, basically they've emulated the Neve summing amplifiers within the mixer of Luna.
Okay. How is this any different to using one of these things that exist already, where you put like a little plugin on every track and then you've got one on the master bus and they all talk to each other?
I believe the difference is that you don't have to spend time putting the plugin on every track.
Okay. Well, I do like time-saving convenience.
There aren't many of those. There are some, but yeah, all of them, most of them that exist, you have to stick it on every track.
Yeah.
Studio One has some good stuff where you can put something on a bus, including the master bus, and it will automatically process all the channels and the bus separately. So you don't have to mess around putting different things on it. But I think it's cool. I think it makes sense for them. And it's better than what they've been doing in the last few years, which is just releasing yet another guitar amp, yet another 70s compressor that makes your music sound better somehow. And, you know, we're getting there. This is something that's finally interesting from those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think that this is really going to appeal to people making quote-unquote real music. Do you know what I mean? Because I can imagine some of those people don't want to fucking worry about putting loads and loads of plugins on every track. They want it to just sound nice, like it did back in the day before the machines took over. Am I right, buddy?
Exactly. One thing they make a lot of fuss about is real-time monitoring, because it's integrated with Apollo, the interfaces. Apparently your monitoring is more latency-free. But I don't think I don't think it's the bane it once was. Computers are good enough. Audio interfaces are good enough. Connections are good enough.
I don't know. I never really do any tracking, so I don't know about that stuff. So I don't feel qualified to comment on that shit, really. But, you know, computers are pretty flipping powerful now. You should be able to get quite low latency just on your buffer size.
Yeah, it's always been Universal Audio's sort of sticking point that computers have got better and we don't necessarily need to do it your way. But I really like what they're doing here. Shall we watch the video and see how they put it?
Oh, God. Okay, then. Is this a long video?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I wanted to watch it fresh with you.
Okay. Oh, space.
I want to hear this moog, man.
We better bloody be able to hear it, because that's going to be annoying if not. Ooh. I like this Paddy soundtrack already. I'm feeling well disposed towards this.
This will be the Neve desk then that they've emulated.
Ooh,
doing a few flyover shots of the Neve desk.
Oh, is it 3D rendered?
In a space setting.
Oh, and they've got dust everywhere.
Tape.
There's no dust in space, mate. That's an error that they've made.
Well, yeah, in space, no one can see you dusting. So people dust more often.
Ooh.
Oh.
No one can hear you saturates. Mate, I love these pads. I want to buy the synth that made these pads. They've already sold me on it.
Well, maybe it's in this shape instrument. Who knows? Okay, we get it. You're modeling a Neve console.
Ooh.
Ooh. There's the Maug.
Oh, it sounds fucking lush. Oh, there's a little bit of a lexicon style controller thing. Didn't hear about that.
No.
Oh, God. Oh, Dutch angles. Ahoy, mate. What's going on? We're going to fall over. Oh, we've completely rotated round 180 degrees.
270.
Oh my God, 360's coming up.
Oh, we're nearly there.
Oh my God, yes, full rotation.
It's Luna, Tim.
Oh God, bit of 2001. Thus spake.
It's a 2001. It's 2001 ripoff. I believe Richard Strauss is out of copyright now, so they didn't have to rip that off.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't they just have it?
He's in the fucking public domain. Anyway.
Cool, man.
That's Luna. There is, to be honest, there's not that much more to say about it at the moment.
Well, I feel like we've talked about it a lot. I mean, I don't know. I guess a big part of whether it's successful or not is how easy is it to use? It's probably going to sound great. How practical is it? This is the question.
I think it's probably quite immediate. This is my prediction. I've got no evidence for this. But if you're playing to the real music crowd...
You want to make it GarageBand easy, right?
Well, yeah, but still sophisticated, you know? You'd want to make sure they... Although...
Let's have a look at a screenshot, man.
Although your traditional engineers will put up with lots of button clicks.
Yeah. I mean, it looks... How would you describe this? It looks like a bit... It's got a Studio One vibe. Maybe, it looks kind of like Reaper, but a bit simpler, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah, it's... I don't know, it sort of looks like all the doors merged and some middle ground between all of them. I think it reminds me most of Cubase.
Oh.
Because of those chunky mutant solo and record arm buttons.
Oh, yeah. Well, who doesn't like a chunky button?
But, I mean, I would definitely give it a good old go if I had one of their interfaces.
Yeah, I mean... What are the odds that we could get some free universal audio interfaces made?
To be honest, it's made me want to buy one of their interfaces.
Right.
I'm not going to, but it's made me covet them.
I mean, you're a bit more real music adjacent than I am.
Yeah.
I am artificial.
But then again, I may be real music adjacent, but I don't care about tape. I don't care about
really?
summing. I don't care about any of that stuff.
How come?
Because tape is the imperfect sound of many decades ago.
Oh man, mate, respect you. I really like that approach. That's fair enough. I mean, I don't use tape emulation on everything by any means, but I do like it sometimes.
If the people who pioneered tape had been stuck on the warm sound of the wax cylinder, then we never would have had tape in the first place.
It's true, man. It's true, baby. Well, it's cool to see some competition out there for the established DAW.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting choice that they've gone to emulate the Mini Moog, because billions of people have done that. However, it is the iconic synth.
That sound of it in the demo sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, even the big guys have taken on the Mini Moog, so it's a bit ballsy. If it falls flat, then...
Flat balls.
Then they're going to have flat balls. But I say good luck to them. It's nice to see something new from these guys.
Yeah, and the fact that it's ostensibly free is kind of nice.
Yeah, exactly. If you own a Thunderbolt equipped one of their interfaces, you get it for free. Tim, what have you been up to over these last couple of weeks?
Okay, so do you remember a couple of weeks ago when we recorded the last podcast and I fell asleep on my sofa?
In the middle of it, yeah. And then the second half of the podcast was just fucking boring as shit.
Hey.
No, it's fine. You did well. You rallied.
I rallied. Yeah, I think I have... Don't condescend or whatever, but I think I've got a gluten intolerance.
I know you definitely do. Go on.
I've started eating I've stopped eating so much bread. I'm sure I've talked about that before, but I'm really doing it now. And
are you really?
A bit.
You told me you had a cinnamon bun the other day.
Yeah, that's not bread. That's a cake. Also, I found that like many places now have gluten-free options,
they
baby.
Do.
So I'm trying to do that, and I felt like I've had a lot more energy. So if you're feeling a bit sluggish, why don't you try stop eating bread, guys? It worked for me. On the other hand, I've been eating a lot of bread recently. Yesterday, I went on a shoot, and I was in and out of various service stations, mate.
Yeah. Pack of sandwiches.
No.
Scotch egg. That avoids. Oh no, it doesn't. It's breaded. It's breaded.
Do you know what, mate? Hard-boiled eggs, I find the most repugnant thing
in
the universe. Yeah, I really find.
We'll talk about that on another episode when we're out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. We'll come back to that gold mine.
Is it because your grandmother taught you to suck them when you were young?
The problem was she didn't teach me to suck them. Mate. I have no idea how to suck one.
No appreciation.
Why would anyone suck an egg anyway? No one has sucked an egg.
Yeah, I've never quite worked that one out, but I'm not fond of asking questions.
Anyway, so yesterday I was trying some of the new vegan foods that have come out, mate.
In service stations.
In service stations.
I bet service station vegan food is the best vegan food.
It is. So in the morning, I had the Greg's vegan steak bake, mate.
Uh-huh.
Delicious.
I've seen it on the sandwich boards.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I would never go for it.
No, you should totally do it.
How do they make the pastry without butter?
I don't want to know, mate. I don't want to know because it's delicious. And also sometimes you can get meat that's not amazing in a cheap food product. You don't have to worry about that if it's vegan. You can just cram it all into your mouth and not even think about it, mate, which is how I consume food.
Here's the thing. If you're avoiding something in your diet, be that for ethical reasons or for dietary reasons or whatever.
Yeah, it's not health food. Let me point that out right now. It's probably incredibly bad for you, but carry on.
Going and looking for the substitute for that food and getting what I might term an emulation of that food is not the way to go.
No, I disagree, man. This is like a really good emulation. So good that you're like...
No, it might taste good, but I'm saying in order to emulate it, they've had to do some weird things to that tofu.
Yeah,
they've had to abuse the tofu, Tim.
I don't even know if it is tofu. Mate, the thing is... I see what you're saying.
What have they used instead of butter to shorten the pastry?
I don't even know what shorten means, mate.
You're shortening the flour into pastry, and you got to use butter, and then you got to put a block of butter in the pastry and roll it out and fold it and roll it and fold it and roll it and fold it. What do they use? Margarine.
Oh God, I really touched a nerve here, which I didn't expect.
So if you want to have some fruity diet plan, that's fine, but go and eat a vegan meal, not a meat meal disguised.
This is rather than being a health thing, because obviously it's going to be terrible for you. This is much more of an ethical thing, and an environmental thing, buddy. Because cows, they eat a lot of grass.
Because that grass could be used to feed us.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly, mate. I'm really thinking about my next step is going to just be going straight to eating the grass, because whatever's in it is making cows delicious.
Camels in the Arabian desert, that sand, we could eat that sand.
Absolutely. So anyway, look, I'm pretty sure camels don't eat sand,
instead,
mate.
we give the sand to the camels.
Yeah.
And then we eat the camels.
Yeah.
It's perverted.
I know, it really is perverted. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So on the way back, guess what I went for, mate?
A camel's hump.
No. I got a freaking vegan KFC, baby.
Oh, Jesus. Emulation.
It was absolutely delicious, mate.
It's an emulation.
Really, really nice. I don't care, mate. The thing is, it's the emulation quality of not like a digital thing like a Korg M1. It's more like a 303, like a ABL3, mate. It's like, it's so good, you forget about the original. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a finger-licking good 303.
I was licking my fingers very, very enthusiastically afterwards.
So, I mean, what did they emulate the chicken with?
I don't know, and I don't fucking care, mate. As long as there's like no farming cruelty or
I'll tell you what they emulate the chicken with. They emulated it with tofu that they'd been slapping around a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd taken the tofu away from its mother so it can get nice and succulent, and they'd force-fed all the little tofu babies to fatten up their livers.
I don't want to think about all the horrible reality of farming or whatever, but that's the reason why I'm trying to give these things a go and everything. The trouble is, what I didn't realise was, if you order the vegan KFC burger, it doesn't come with chips, because the chips aren't technically vegan.
Hold on a second. KFC vegan burger, does that mean you ate bread again?
Yeah. Yeah, like, mate, it's all about getting a balance, mate. And the thing was, I was being driven around
loads of bread and loads of emulated meat.
Yeah, it's really my diet's amazing right now. The thing is, mate, I only have to not eat bread when I need to be productive. When I'm getting driven around in a car or whatever by my crew, it's fine for me to just fall asleep sitting up and maybe start to snore a small amount.
Yeah.
So it's fine and everything.
When you're on your way to a shooting.
So I think that my actions in the past 24 hours have offset the horrific wildfires in Australia that have killed 1 billion cute koala bears, I believe is the figure.
When those wildfires started because environmentalists didn't want them to chop back a bunch of
mate,
well, I've just been listening to the wrong people.
Don't listen to that propaganda bullshit, mate. You got to think critically, guys. So yeah,
think critically and do everything that everyone tells you.
No, you've got to listen unquestioningly to the right people.
Okay.
That's what it's all about,
Think
mate.
critically about the people who you're against.
Yeah, don't think too critically once you're doing the right things, mate, because you need blind devotion to the cause, basically.
I understand now.
Okay,
So you're a vegan and you don't eat bread.
Whoa. I'm not vegan. I ate the chips, which were, do you know what? They were delicious as well, mate.
I'm not vegan about chips.
Maybe they cook them in some kind of tallow. I don't know, basically.
No, they're not force-feeding potatoes to fatten up their livers. That would be preposterous.
I don't know. I really don't know. And do you know, I don't want to know how the sausage is made, mate. But I just feel like I want to get a pat on the head for making a very small effort and still eating delicious food and not really making any real sacrifice.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's really all about the pat on the head. I encourage you in your veganity because it means that meat will get cheaper for me.
Well, that's good. And the thing is, I think if we're as society we're consuming less meat, it's going to be good for the environment. And also, animals are adorable and everything. So if there's but I just don't want to do away with eating delicious, meat-like things. So I figure, we can have the best of both worlds, basically. And if I get a bit fat, so be it. So what have you been up to, James?
I have been doing a little video for Native Instruments.
What? Again? They haven't been knocking on my door.
I haven't done another one for months.
God, so annoying. Anyway, carry on.
This is drum synthesis with Monarch, which is the Mini Moog. And Mini Moogs, of course, aren't exactly synonymous with drum synthesis.
No, it's a bit of a weird thing that they'd ask you to do that, but it's not for me to judge, even though I will.
Well, it was more about drum synthesis principles, which meant I had to really brush up on my drum synthesis principles, which is something I've complained about not knowing much.
Yeah, so have you felt that you now have a better understanding of drum synthesis?
Kind of, but I had to do it all with a Mini Moog, so...
Tell me about the trials and tribulations you experienced.
Well, okay, so let's say you want to make a kick. You're going to need a pitch bend. It's not...
Or are you?
It's not impossible to do a bit of pitch bend with a Mini Moog.
Using the actual pitch bend?
No, I mean, with you can modulate the pitch of the oscillators. That's fine. But best way to do it is to push the filter into self-resonance and use the filter envelope.
Hell yeah, wide sweeps.
So there's a lot of filter gubbins going on. I think I made a good go of it. It's not a perfect synth for doing it.
We're not done yet. Tell me about the snares.
But it's a good synth for learning it. Snares, lots of noise, and that feedback is quite good for completely varying the noise sound.
And again, is it sort of a pitch bend thing?
Nah.
Oh, really?
You can do that, but I didn't really get the oscillators or filters involved with the snares.
Okay.
The toms, they use filter resonance, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of variations you can make. But anyway, it turns out that you can kind of do some drum synthesis in a Mini Moog, and it kind of works. There are some limitations, but it's all right.
Yeah, it sounds all right, man. I mean... I would never choose to synthesize drum sounds in a Mini Moog.
No, that's very much agreed. But once you're given the challenge, it's something that you can do. Time for us to ask you all about Patreon and PayPal. If you love what we do, why not give us some money, people? Come on now.
Well, we're not really asking, are we? We're begging.
Yeah.
It's already a question.
Cap in hand.
Yeah. Dutch cap in Dutch hand.
What's with all the Dutch today?
Anyway. I went to the Netherlands last week and I saw a Miffy mosaic. Which I was pretty happy with. So yeah.
That's nice.
It's very nice.
Can I get back to my trying to get money?
Nope. Okay, back to the begging.
If you go to patreon.com/A4P podcast, or if you go to A4Ppodcast.com, you can give us money on Patreon or via PayPal, because not everyone has a Patreon account and not everyone wants to get a Patreon account, because who can remember that many passwords these days? I mean, come on. I just use password 1234 as all my passwords.
Yeah, you do, for all of your accounts as well.
And when it asks me to change it, I just go password 123.
Oh, nice, wicked. Oh, super secure. Yeah, I mean, do you imagine that people who gave us money would feel some kind of smug sense of self-satisfaction, James?
Most report feeling exactly that, Tim, yeah.
Wicked. I mean, that's what I've been searching for. And they can just PayPal us cash, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. Give us money. We're like cam girls, as you know.
Yeah. We'll do stuff the cam girls won't. Am I right, James? If you want feet pics, you only have to ask.
Oh, God.
And we have beautiful feet, don't we?
I do.
Mine are slightly hairy, but they're really not that bad.
Mine have got sort of downy fluff on them. Anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, if you're on Patreon and you feel like not being on Patreon and going over to PayPal because you don't want to get a load of Patreon notifications, I'll set up some kind of email list so the PayPal guys can get all the content that we put up there.
Yeah. So, it's kind of a balance between being pause or whatever, but also standing up for the little guy, right, James?
Who's the little guy?
Our listeners. You're all really big guys. Don't forget I said anything. Okay, James, this is going very badly.
Tim, it's 2020. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what it means. I hope you're going to tell me.
It means it's time for another edition of Pro Tools.
Oh, wow. What everyone's been holding their breath for.
This one's called Pro Tools 2020.
Oh, catchy name. Why is it called Pro Tools 2020? I don't get it.
I'm not sure. Especially for a door that's stuck in the last decade.
I've missed like 2,000 versions of Pro Tools, I think.
Well, I don't think you missed much, because do you know what Pro Tools 2020 is all about?
I don't know. It's got a mini Moog in it.
There's some huge new features, Tim.
Oh,
I mean,
wicked.
Huge new feature number 1, support for macOS Catalina.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Whoa, exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Your music is going to sound at least 32% better.
Oh, wow. I mean, I refuse to upgrade to Catalina, but it's still, and I don't use Pro Tools, but it's still very exciting to hear.
Yeah. And the other jaw-dropping, show-stopping new feature, folder tracks, Tim. They've added folder tracks to Pro Tools.
Which every other DAW has had for decades.
Yeah, it's basically grouped tracks, is it, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so.
Tracks.
Do you know what, to be fair, Ableton Live's only had nested folder tracks for a little, like since version 10, I think. Can you nest these folder tracks in Pro Tools, James?
I'm gonna blow your mind, Tim. Tracks can be grouped in up to 9 folder levels.
Oh.
A top level folder and 8 nested folders that can be collapsed and color coded for easier navigation.
Well, that's great, but I use 12 nested folder layers in every single project I do. They're just so complicated.
Why
mate.
the limit, guys?
Yeah, I know, man. It seems insane.
So yeah. I mean, look, Pro Tools is really going places. These guys are adding some significant new features that are going to change the face of music track folders.
What else does it do?
That's basically it.
Oh, well, that's it, is it? Great. Amazing.
They've got some random other things. MTRX Studio, high quality I/O thing.
I don't know what that means.
It's an audio interface, basically, and a Pro Tools HDX Thunderbolt 3 chassis.
I don't know what that means. It sounds really boring, is it?
There is control surface innovation, but yeah, it's mostly buy all this hardware for your Pro Tools.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, companies have got to make money, I guess.
Yeah, which is why they've put billions of R&D money into making folder tracks.
Yeah.
Not just folder tracks, Tim. 8 levels of nested folder tracks and 1 top level folder.
Do you know what? I really don't want to see 8 nested layers of folders in a project. That would be horrendous, wouldn't it? Can you imagine?
Yeah, it feels like it would just it would be far too much.
Yeah, totally. Mind you, maybe Zimmer is into that shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I bet he loves his Pro Tools updates.
And Sibelius as well. I actually did realize Avid made Sibelius.
Yes.
I don't know quite how I've managed to be ignorant of that.
Let's say as little as possible about Sibelius.
Okay, that's fair enough. Let's stave off that worry.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, Tim, let's get really into the sweaty heels of NAMM.
Okay, now, I want to preface this, James, because we have our little joke about the NAMM flashback,
yeah,
right?
last year we did Timmy and Jimmy's NAMM flashback after NAMM.
And this year you were like, can you make a sting with some gunfire and helicopter noises? And I was a bit like, Oh, that feels a bit distasteful. Do you know what I'm saying? Now,
Yep.
Now, let me break something to you, James. I have started reading Manufacturing Consent.
Okay.
I've read 1/10 of Manufacturing Consent. So if you think I was insufferable before, you just wait, mate. And there's a lot of stuff about the Vietnam War in it. And I was really surprised about the ratio of how many Vietnamese people died in the war. Hundreds of thousands, mate. So it feels a bit tasteful to make jokes about it. But then
feels a bit tasteful, does it?
Yeah, it does feel a little bit distasteful. But then I thought, no, let's satirize American imperialism. I'm really going to lean into it.
Okay.
So you might find our NAMM Flashback stinger. You might find it a bit tasteful, or maybe you think it's a bit racist, but no, we're satirizing US imperialism, and that gives us the moral high ground.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Tim.
Yeah, man, that and the Sleepies tablets from Boots, the combination of those two, I'm sleeping like a baby.
Let's do the first NAMM Flashback for 2020.
Brace yourself, boys, we're going in.
I wanted a mission, and for my sins, they gave me one.
Appetite for production, NAMM Flashback.
Okay, we got a thing from NAMM.
Oh, incoming.
This is from a company called Voclia Music.
Okay.
It is called the Doubler Studio Kit.
Wow. Okay, there's a way to double things now.
Here's the lowdown, Tim. Now, we talk about a lot of crazy stuff on this podcast, and sometimes we absolutely rip the piss out of things that make music in weird ways.
Only because we love it.
Now, this makes music in weird ways, but I'm not going to rip the piss out of this.
What?
I think this is quite a good idea.
No.
Having said that, I'll give you the one-line headline.
Okay.
It's about controlling your door with your mouth.
Oh, what?
So the Doubler Studio Kit contains a microphone that's sort of specially calibrated and made. And a software app that runs on your computer. And that software app appears in your door as a MIDI controller. And you can go into the microphone and go like, and the app will translate that into MIDI.
Okay. I mean, you could kind of already do that in live with the kind of like audio to like drums and stuff.
You
and
kind
everything.
of can.
This sounds like it might be a bit more involved.
This has got far more involved settings to really interpret what you're doing and get it right, because that's one of the problems with your audio to MIDI stuff. Very rarely gets it right, and I think this is it's probably got the tools to help you a lot.
Okay.
Do you want to have a little watch of the video?
I really do. Yeah, let's look at it.
So there's the app.
I don't like this music.
Who cares what you like?
Okay.
So they've all got the doubler microphone, and you can see the app.
It's the next step in music production.
It's that wonderful eureka moment you get when you see tech sometimes.
For me, this was like being a kid at Christmas.
I was blown away.
You're no longer bound by not having musical knowledge.
Just allowed me to do
Stop it a sec.
what I wanted to do.
So when you see the interface, can you pull up a shot of the interface from the video? Big circle tracks the pitch of what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's got 4 knobs above it, which have A, E, U, and So each of those knobs, you don't actually set them. They get set by the level of A, E, U, or that you do. And they, in turn, all combine to generate MIDI.
Okay.
It might sound crazy. But
It does sound crazy.
If you continue with the video, I think it's quite rational, and probably they've done a lot of work to take out any frustration from this kind of thing. I know we bang on about how some of this stuff is a bit weird.
This is weird, mate.
But I'm behind this.
Is it going to make you say, ooh? Shall I continue from where we left off?
Yeah.
I wanted to do so much easier, quicker. If I had something like that when I started making music, I'd be completely way ahead. My ideas and my workflow.
This is it.
So this is it, Tim.
Nice fairy lights.
Converts your voice into the ultimate MIDI controller. So you can select samples, control synths, control effects, all live and all using the voice.
Oh, that's cool.
Seems to be getting it right, basically. That's the main thing.
Yeah, okay.
All the way through to Logic, Reason, Cubase, Ableton.
But not Pro Tools 2020.
Studio Kit.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can make anything with it. You can set it up to respond
You open up the desktop software
to different sounds with different MIDI.
You go into your DAW and you choose doubler in the drop-down list of MIDI devices, as you would any MIDI controller.
Okay.
The functionality is basically...
Beat trigger, I can use claps, I can use clicks, and I've managed to make beats using my body and the mic, which is so
It's potentially interesting performance tool, I guess.
Yeah.
It certainly speeds up elements of the workflow. You can do that very quickly and intuitively, but actually people will be using it in all sorts of different ways.
I thought automatically it's a way for me to simultaneously put down my beats layer whilst I'm playing something intricate on the piano. So for me, I'd be able to play 2 instruments at once.
Oh God, I can't play 1 instrument at once.
In real time.
So what are your thoughts on this, James?
See, I think anything that makes it easier to get ideas from your head to the door is good. Most solutions that people come up with are bad, but I think this could technically work. I kind of don't like that you have to buy their specially calibrated microphone, but
hey, if it makes it work easier,
yeah, it does. And you can,
and they've got to make their money somehow.
You can use your own microphone.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I think
what
you
are
can do
complaining
it.
about?
It just won't be quite as good.
No, okay.
But yeah, they've basically done a lot of the work in the translation, if you will, of real sound into MIDI, real time. I could hear quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, but I could hear some latency on the video. That could just be down to settings and stuff like that. But but I can actually get with this. I think this is a good idea, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I am naturally skeptical, and I certainly don't think this is something that is aimed at people like me who are mouse and keyboard warriors. But if people who like to do, especially live performance, are into it, hey, more power to them. I can't ever imagine it, assisting me personally. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got to think of it as a MIDI controller, but
yeah, sure.
It's hard not to think of it as a microphone. You know, like it would need to be there, and you think it was a microphone, and you treat it like a microphone. Maybe a completely different aesthetic would have been useful.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, a big attraction of making music with computers is sitting alone in silence, mate. That's all I really want. And if I've got a beatbox to myself, then that's just going to be off-putting. But I mean, I imagine some people will love it.
I think it's a good thing that this exists.
Okay, well, I'm sure they're very happy that you have allowed them to exist.
£250.
£250?
That's the answer to that question.
I didn't even ask the clam cost, mate, but you anticipated me there.
And you should have received your kit in February.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I wanted a mission, and for my sins, they gave me one.
Appetite for production, NAMM Flashback.
Okay, Tim, from one automated MIDI device that's good, let's look at a music device that is so ill-advised. It's probably going to hang around Dallas near the book depository.
Oh, God. Hey, mate, Lee Harvey Oswald didn't kill JFK. That's what I'm saying.
Tim, say goodbye to your faith in humanity and say hello to Plant Wave.
Am I going to play this video,
Play
buddy?
the motherfucking video.
Let's do it.
Full screen that sucker.
Oh, God, okay.
This is an Indiegogo campaign, which has currently generated nearly $84,000.
Oh, my God.
You come out more relaxed, refreshed, energized.
Green fields.
I love it.
Our vision is
Oh, ladybirds. Oh, they're not ladybirds. They're scary.
through music. We call this experience Plant Wave.
Oh, literal tree stroking there.
Your phone.
2 people meditating and holding hands.
I would never meditate like that, but I don't have a girlfriend, so
Wave
that
turns
matters.
a plant's biorhythms.
Are those crocodile clips on a leaf?
Yep.
What the fuck is happening?
And Plant Wave connects wirelessly to an iOS or Android device running our app.
Yes.
What the fuck are you saying, mate?
Give it a pause.
James, what the fuck is happening? Oh, God, hang on, it's full screen, it won't pause.
So, yes, this is an iOS app to help you get in touch with nature. It connects to a little box which sends signals wirelessly from crocodile clips that are attached to plants, like one on one leaf and one on another leaf.
Oh, yeah, right, because you don't want to put them on the same leaf, because you won't complete the circuit that way.
And the app makes music.
Oh, my God.
Oh, let's keep going.
Oh, this is so silly.
These variations are graphed as a wave, which we translated to pitch message.
What are they monitoring exactly?
I don't know. Cosmic microwave background, probably.
Oh my
change
God.
the textural qualities of those sounds. The result is a continuous stream of pleasing music that gives you a sonic window into the secret life of
God.
plants. Over the last 7 years, we've
MIDI Sprout.
musicians around the world after we brought to market MIDI Sprout, the world's first device that allowed.
How did we not hear about this before, mate?
Well,
That guy's playing a flute to his flipping fern.
Pro music equipment required extra cabling.
Electrodes on your plant.
Oh my God, you can plug it into your freaking synth.
To your phone, making it easier than ever to tune into nature's song. Our current users report feeling more relaxed, connected, and inspired.
Oh, don't get the kids involved with this
They're
BS.
listening in their home, garden,
Kissing the plant.
They're using plant music to enhance meditation, relaxation, and even focus.
Oh,
We have
God.
preliminary designs and working prototypes of Plant Wave complete, but we need your help.
We need your fucking money.
Yeah.
Come on, suckers, give us your money.
And begin manufacturing.
Oh my God. So we've got the...
Join us on this journey of deepening our connection to the planet
And getting some cash.
as a tool to heighten our
Yeah,
sense
go on
of
holiday.
vibrations that connect us all.
Oh.
Mate, this is like it was designed specifically to irritate us, surely.
I think I really do feel this is... There are one of three options for what this is. I think I'm sort of 33% sure about all of them.
Okay.
Number one, this is a piss take. Okay, this
well,
is
apparently not.
This is a genuine parody which has raised $84,000. Number two, this is a con.
Okay.
Just literally, hey, there's a bunch of people who believe anything you tell them if you say something about nature and plants.
Yeah.
Let's swindle those motherfuckers out of $84,000.
Hey, why not? If they've got disposable income, kiss it goodbye, suckers.
Option three, this is genuine.
I think it might be genuine, mate. Oh, can we watch this video of the functioning prototype in action?
Yeah.
Because I really want to know
So
what
they
this
got a
thing
little
actually does.
potted plant connected up to the box, which is connected to the app.
It's just making generative music, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all this fucking is.
Right, okay.
It's pre-composed.
You don't need to connect it to a plant to do this stuff.
It's pre-composed generative music, and if you stick the crocodile clips on anything,
Yeah.
it'll just make some generative music.
Could I put them on my testicles?
You can stick them up your fucking ass. Or how about one clipped tightly around your prostate,
Ooh,
and the other
nice.
attached to your left ball.
Oh my god! So how much does this actually cost? Oh, okay, $220. There was some donation tiers that were like in the thousands, and I was like, hey, that's not cool, guys.
You know what they say about plants? There's one born every minute.
Do they say that about plants?
No, they say that about suckers.
Oh, right.
There
I
are a
see.
lot of those buying this.
You have to subscribe to the app.
Oh.
Oh, mate. No.
Oh, wow.
No, this is unacceptable. I don't feel bad about taking the piss out of this. 'Cause
No.
This seems like a bit of a con.
You know
reckon.
what? Like that. Well, that's what I think. Like, I think it should be some kind of crime to take advantage of people with this
naive hippies. Basically.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, they will believe anything. It's like they've got a mental condition, and they'll believe about energies and all this bullshit. And I think they should be classed as a vulnerable group.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Like hippies who believe that this thing is the music of plants should be considered
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a bit
clinically stupid.
I mean, it does say plant wave detects slight electrical variations in a plant via 2 electrodes placed on the leaves. I don't know a lot about science, James.
I'll let you connect the dots to that one.
Okay.
It detects these variations, then it sends them to a box, which sends them to an app, which is pre-programmed to generate
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I would really like to play with this, basically, and see what it actually do, but I'm not giving them 220 of my dollary dues.
I wonder what happens if you put one crocodile clip on the output of a drum machine, the other crocodile clip on the output of a Roland JV 1080.
Oh, hell, now you're talking.
And make some sweet generative music with those.
Mate, I can make all the new age hippie music I want with my real life 1080 or plug-in 1080, and it'll sound amazing. So, yeah, but I don't think this is aimed at people like us.
No, I think
cold hard scientists.
We know exactly who the fuck this is aimed at.
Hippies with too much money.
Where are these people based, Tim?
Venice in LA, mate.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. It seems cynical that it's a subscription-based app. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're saying that there are changes in this vaguely described electricity of the plants. I mean, I could never do it.
Oh, yeah, there are probably electrical changes to detect between leaves, but
it's not. That's not what's making the music, really, is it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's like they're basically getting an RNG variable from this, ostensible physical connection.
Yes, to an extent. It's just made me really interested in seeing how I could scam a bunch of people.
Yeah, mate. Well, look, 361 people have signed up to this silliness, and they've made $83,000 dues. Just going over their 80 grand goal there. So what are we going to do to scam some suckers, buddy?
I mean, it's got to be something natural that people are already... Maybe ghosts.
Oh, mate. Can you imagine?
Oh,
I bet loads of people believe in ghosts.
Yeah, like you could pop a little antenna in a room.
Yeah.
And pick up on, I don't know, some conductivity or some electrical property within the room, which will naturally vary anyway.
Hear me out, James.
Go for it.
So we've got your antenna thing or whatever,
and
this is attached to our app, which is a ghost translator.
Yep.
And it will tell you what the ghosts are saying. So maybe you'd enter, some.
Well, no. It's got to be generative music, so it'll tell us what the ghosts are singing.
No. I like that idea. Hear me out, though, right?
Yeah.
So our ghost translator, so you'll enter like all of your deceased loved ones in or whatever. And it will send you messages from your deceased loved ones. And those messages will mainly be about how you need to help continue the funding of the ghost translator so that they can continue to communicate with you,
Please, my life force is running low.
Yeah, right.
You need to help me.
Why is Arnie communicating with us about this? He's not dead, and we don't know him.
That's most of my ghost voice, Tim.
Oh, it's very, very spooky. Okay, well, I think we've learned a lot about humanity.
If you have accidentally backed this, seek help.
Yeah, try and get your money back, guys. Get a generative music app. I bet there are loads out there.
Yeah,
you don't have to subscribe to.
There's that Jean-Michel Jarre one that we looked at a few weeks ago. That'll do it.
No, yeah, wicked. It's Jean-Michel Jarre, guys. He's French,
and he's more intelligent than a plant.
Yeah, that is very generous to Jean-Michel Jarre. But yes, no, he is a genius musician. So yes, I'm sure he'd be much better.
I wanted a mission. And for my sins, they gave me one.
Appetite for Production, NAMM Flashback.
Okay, new plugin now from Slate Digital.
Oh, Stevie Slate.
You know them. You love them. They force you to subscribe to plugins, but they give you loads of plugins at relatively low cost.
I bought the virtual mix rack outright when it was on sale. Don't really use it that much, but it is good.
Well, this new plugin, I imagine, was designed to fill a gap in what they offer, and I think it was designed for a couple of other things, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Okay.
It is called Infinity EQ. What does the word infinity say to you?
It goes on forever.
It says to me impulse impulse response, which is in other words, I believe, linear phase.
You've lost me there.
I basically think it's a linear phase EQ.
Oh, okay.
Let's watch the video. Oh, the video is really weird as well.
Oh, brilliant.
It's basically some kind of Black Mirror pastiche.
Oh, okay.
So you're about to have your mind blown. But remember, this is a podcast, so tell people what's happening.
Oh, God, do I have to? Okay, we see someone's desk. It's kind of a messy desk. Looks a bit like my desk. Is that a gentleman or a lady? Whoever this is, they've got a very shapely bottom. It's a woman, thank God. She's sitting down at her computer. She's putting her glasses on. She's got a backwards baseball cap. She's turning up her audio interface. She's got some of those Yamaha speakers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you want to enter infinity, yes or no? Appears on her computer screen. She's going to type yes, presumably.
It'd be a very short trailer if she typed no.
Yeah, she's taking ages to type yes. Oh, she's done it. What's happening? Oh my God, her computer's gone into hyperspace. Oh, there's a bit of an EQ plug-in on the screen.
That's the most disappointing way to enter infinity.
Mate, I look at EQ plugins all fucking day, mate. Ooh. Some future bass is happening.
The EQ bands are on fire.
Oh, wow, look, they're doing that trick you do in the videos you make, where it's a bit of an angle. They're ripping you off, mate. Oh, all the power's gone out.
Except for the computer with the EQ plug-in in it.
Oh. This is conceptual. Oh, you can choose different types of things. I see. You can choose like a kick drum preset. This seems to be another thing aimed at people who need a little bit of a helping hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly trying to sex this EQ up, considering that it's an EQ.
EQ is the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah, it literally is. Like, if you want to release something and you want to make an impact, don't release an EQ. Because there's not really loads and loads and loads and loads of innovation to happen in the world of EQs, right?
I don't know. Could they do a linear phase EQ that doesn't have pre-ringing, or is that a physical impossibility?
I think people have tried to find ways around it and offer ways around it, but even that has technically been done according to the manufacturers. If you watch the actual trailer now, I want you to pause it every so often, because this actual trailer has a lot of reading between the lines, which I'm going to do for you.
Oh, brilliant. I really don't like thinking. I don't know if I've made that clear.
Here it is.
Introducing the new Slate Digital Infinity EQ.
Ooh.
A new all-graphical drag style equalizer.
Pause.
Hang on. Yeah.
So it's all graphical.
Yeah, right.
And it's drag style.
So you dress up as the opposite gender to use it. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do like the excuse, but whatever. Shall I carry on?
I mean, you might want to use a kind of a Pultec EQ and dial in parametric bands. Who gives a crap about that? This is all graphical, Tim.
No, look, I can see some numbers up and down the sides. So.
It's all graphical, Tim.
Okay,
and you can get bands into existence by dragging and move them around by dragging, clicking presumably as well.
There's not a knob to be seen.
It's an EQ is the translation for what he just said.
We're 8 seconds into this.
Let's move.
Let's plow on.
Made by the same team who've created some of the industry's most coveted plug-in equalizers.
Oh, we know what they are. So we can see the VMR EQs.
Yeah, other Slate EQs which don't have any graphical component other than a bunch of knobs.
I like those knobs.
The first thing you'll notice about the Infinity EQ is the no compromise, zero latency, perfectly analog matched curves that will sound amazing.
What does it mean when it says perfectly analog matched curves?
It means that they are EQ curves.
I see.
An analog EQ would create the exact same curves, which is physically true. And they sound amazing. Apparently.
Really?
As EQ often does if you get it right.
Yeah. If you don't make it sound shit, it sounds great. Yeah.
If you get it wrong, it doesn't sound amazing.
We're talking about the silkiest highs and fattest lows.
So you can boost the highs and
lows.
You can boost the lows at the same time.
The next thing you'll notice is the speed. The Infinity EQ's lightning fast work.
Pause it. So we don't have any selling points for this EQ, so we're going to sell it on speed, because your current EQ takes you hours to set up, right?
Yo, sure, man. It's like you've got to click twice to make a curve.
This one takes mere seconds, Tim.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm really sold on this already. Should we crack on?
Makes it easy to execute your ideas with the least amount of effort.
Well, I do like the sound of
It's
that.
so intuitive that we insist that you don't read the manual.
Translation, you know how to use this because it's an EQ plugin.
Hang on a minute. We insist you don't read the manual.
But we made it anyway.
So they've made an manual and they insist you don't use it. Do you know what? That's so stupid. I love it. Brilliant.
Let's go.
You can use the faders to control gain and bandwidth.
Look, there are knobs
or use
there.
a jog wheel. Selecting your options requires the least amount of mouse movement to get access to the continuous slopes, filter panning, shelf resonances, and more.
Let's deconstruct that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You can use your mouse to change the properties of different bands.
This must be the first EQ that's done that, surely.
And specifically, the properties that you want access to are so close to the thing you just clicked that you can get there with no time at all. Because you know what it's like if you're working on the top left of the screen, Tim, and suddenly you've got to go all the way to the bottom right of the screen.
Oh, mate, don't even remind me.
It's like
God.
Game of Thrones. Like, it'll take me 3 seasons just to get from one side to another.
Oh, God, yeah, right. I'm not really seeing anything here the Pro Q3 doesn't do, buddy.
No, well, it does have quite a good way of selecting bands and stuff. Can you see it's got a sort of circular...
No, it looks more complicated than every other EQ.
It lays out your low pass, high pass shelves in a little circle so you can choose one
So
very
it's in a
quickly.
circle rather than a line.
The point is, they really have to reach to get a selling point over Pro Q.
This is weird because Slate is normally quite the innovator, and you know.
Well, they're decent with analog, and here they are realizing that they can't do that much to improve on digital EQs.
Let's carry on with this.
The Infinity EQ Analyzer gives you the perfect visualization of your track and the results of your EQ tweaks.
Pause it. You can see the audio going through, the audio coming out, and where your bands are.
Yeah, man. Truly revolutionary stuff.
Let's go.
This is definitely going to take down the government.
Fast and intuitive feedback. Finally, the Infinity EQ makes mid-side processing simple with unique features that can help enhance the width of your mixes like never before.
Oh, that's weird. That's something that's different, but I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's like a mid-band taking the highs away and a sides band boosting the highs at the same time.
I mean, I guess that's potentially useful if you want to create stereo, but isn't that going to be...
Well, it's fine, but also Pro Q has that.
Yeah, I mean, well, you wouldn't do it in quite the same way in Pro Q, would you? You'd just set up a...
Yeah, you just right-click the band and say mid.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got a weird way of setting it up, but it seems pretty similar.
Kind of weird.
And to get you started, we have some presets made by hip-hop legend Mike Dean, house virtuoso Wax Motif, metal mixer Kane Shurko, pop legend Oak Felder, and mastering engineer Howie Weinberg.
I've never heard of any of those people. Do I need to retire?
Here's a little translation of that. It has presets, Tim.
Oh, wow, wicked.
Most of those presets won't be applicable in any way to the particular audio that you're running through it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used an EQ preset ever, or a compressor preset for that purpose.
They can give you some good ideas, but they're not needed for the pros. But I guess this is in there for the people who want that instant gratification of knowing that Howie Weinberg designed their EQ curves.
Yes, so I mean, good ideas aren't really part of my music, but let's carry on.
You can get Infinity EQ in the Slate Digital All Access Pass, along with over $5,000 worth of award-winning plugins, synths, samples, and masterclass production courses.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah, so here's a bit of Kremlinology for you.
What does that mean?
That means we're going to do a deep dive on what the company thought before making this.
Break it down for me, son.
So they want people to buy their all-access pass.
Yeah, they do.
$15.99 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, $14.99 a month to get all the Slate Digital plugins.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking around and you want to buy Pro Q And maybe you're going to buy Pro Q instead of going into Slate. So the Slate Digital package basically has to offer a great EQ, which can compete with Pro Q and stop people from buying that. And this is it.
Yeah, okay.
Simple as that. They've got to give people things that exist elsewhere so that people don't buy those things. They need to make sure they got all the bases covered.
Yeah.
They didn't have EQ covered because they were making like multiple stupid analog EQs where you can't see what's going on.
I think their analog EQs are pretty good from what I've used in VMR.
They may be good, but they're stupid.
Okay.
And this is they're just ticking a box. We have an EQ now.
It doesn't seem to be the sort of innovative, sort of, creatively, it doesn't seem to have like the creative direction that other Stephen Slate stuff has. You know what I mean?
It's a linear phase EQ. That's about it.
Okay, well, mine's not blown, I guess.
Well, everybody, we've had enough of NAMM 2020 for one episode, and I think we're going to put a lot of the flashbacks that we recorded into following episodes.
Yeah, I really want to get as much use out of that sting as possible, James. Would you please use it as much as possible?
Yeah,
Is
you
that
did.
all right?
You did spend 3.5 days making it.
I did 3.5 days of my life on that. Yeah.
We will catch up with you for the next episode. Don't forget to consider our Patreon, consider our PayPal, and consider how cool we are. Right, guys?
Yeah, we're super cool, guys. Tell everybody.
Because no one is going to advertise with us ever.
And that's because of our principles and not because we can't sell advertising if our lives depended on it. Am I right, James?
Yeah.
Okay then.